Yeah, definitely. Yeah, one of the great things about his game is how relaxed and fluid that shoulder can be. And if you try and muscle it, like Evan said, the ball's going to feel that, it's going to check up early, and you're going to leave stuff in the middle. Absolutely, pressure. This is, this is to these guys who do this every single weekend. On one hand, this is just another tournament, but on the other hand, there's a competitive spirit between these two, and they want to win very, very badly. No friends on the lanes. Cross lane has the 3-6. And from what appeared to be two early blowouts, we got two very competitive matches here heading into the 9th and 10th frames. That's the way we like it. Nicole working on that open, but still leading by 13. Let's see if she can get it back in order here in the 9th frame. The all-important 9th frame, folks. Set up that 10th. See if she can keep the ball speed up too and get that ball online. It's right. It's back, but not quite enough in the 2-4-10. Definitely a makeable split here, and you gotta, looking strategy-wise with that 13-pin lead, you want to give it a run, but at the same time you don't want to miss them all or even one of them, so you don't want to give more count back to Toby. Let's see how she chooses to go about it here. Got to get the ball to the far left of the 2-pin, drive the 2 into the 10. Alright, I like getting the 2 here. Not the worst possible scenario for her. We'd hate to see her lose by a pin because she went for it and missed it. Oh, there goes the skier. That is definitely an open one there. Alright. Toby Shepard is all over Facebook, blah 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 about JBT. He is here to do well, and you don't get a chance to win these tournaments very often, and here is an opportunity for him. The lead for Stickler has shrunk to 4 with Toby still on the bench with this all-important foundation 9th frame. Taking his time, I like it. Wow, really? He is focused. Well, didn't quite trust that one like he trusted the last frame. Ball went back to the Brooklyn. Not the worst possible result, the 5-9, but, and I hate to qualify that with a but in this situation, a 5-9 on hooking lanes is chop potential city. I don't know how many 5-9s I've chopped. Well, the trouble is you got to get the ball to hook. You know, it's essentially a pocket shot, and a well-thrown pocket shot would chop a 5-9 every time. So, yeah, it's good strategy. Let's see. Hang on, ball. All right. Yep, that was exactly the way to do it. Sure did. But no matter how you add it all up, it's a spare on the board, and that's what he was looking for. And it's going to come down to the 10th frame in a handicap. Shepard leading by 1 on the scoreboard, again giving 6, so it's theoretically a 5-pin lead for Stickler. So we'll see how the count plays into it. 134. Right now Kent is trailing by 3 and can take a 6-pin lead heading into the 10th. He can strike here in the 9th. Cannot shut out Cruz no matter what he does. Got a wheel. Oh, did it ever wheel?
You need to get that one out as far, but
it did, you're right. See, a second, usually he posts that follow through. The second he let that go, he kind of did a stand up like, boy, I need that to wheel, and it responded perfectly. There he is. Big Sam. All right, Marshall can strike out for 224, right? 04, 34, 224. Tyler's still got room for 237, so Tyler's fate's still in his own hands. If Tyler doesn't strike here, the best he can do is strike out for 226, right? 226, correct. So what a key frame this is for the talented Tacoman. little extra time again. See if he comes out of this one better than the last 2 frames. Much better. And a much better result down the lane. Bowling ball might be an inanimate object, but it feels when you do the right thing to it. And that ball was, his swing was much purer, much more pure. Oh well, he threw it gooder.
Gooder. More gooder.
Much more gooder than the last 2 times.
Better. More better.
All right, 10th frame. Stickler leading by 5.
Throw better.
When he had it up, she needs more gooder right here too. 10th frame pressure of a title match.
She struck twice.
He's had a real good game overall, but a little late frame jitters. Here's the biggest shot of her JBT career. And again, a great break getting that 9 pin out. 3-9. Yes. Well, 9 was on the open, but getting that 9 pin out. The 3-9 is brutal on a Brooklyn shot and when it's this late at the game. Up quickly at the spare though, not taking her time. A little worried. I'm still worried. Oh, Nicole. Oh my goodness. You know, it's easy for us when we're sitting up here with no pressure on us, but we called it. She did not take her time on that shot. And now Shepard needs a good count mark. He does have to mark. 9 out is 171, which would not be enough. So any sort of decent count spare, Toby Shepard wins his 3rd career title. Any open at all, Nicole Stickler wins her 1st. You know, you sit at home, you practice you go practicing at the bowling alley, and you put yourself in situations like this. I need a good shot to win it all. You don't worry about spares.
Practice everything yeah.
Oh, you betcha. Here's where mental training comes into play. You know you're good enough to do it, just get out there and do it. And don't spare. You go to the 1-3 and you strike and get it over with. Wow, and a false start too.
Nope, wrong side.
And he was on the wrong lane while I'm talking about it. Boy,
Oh, was he?
that would have been excellent tournament directing on my part if I'm yapping into a camera. Still try it. But
Thanks, Marshall.
Thank you, Marshall. But seriously, he needs to fully mentally regroup here is important for Toby here. All right, here we go.
Got that out. Gotta shoot a spare.
Okay. Did get it out, still grabbed. We've said that for about 8 out of the 10 frames here, and he is 1 6-pin away from notching the title. He's had a couple close calls on his spares. Overall, pretty solid. His only miss was that split in the 3rd frame, and I don't even remember what he missed in the 4th, to be honest. Make your 6-pin, notch your title. Right in the face.
That was a tough.
Big deep breath there from Toby. Still only got 171, so he needs to shoot 176. So he still needs 6 pins here to win this game. So we're not counting our chickens quite yet. We can count the chickens, they just haven't hatched yet. Gotta feel bad for Nicole. Bowled a great game. Just a terrible finish there at the end. I'm feeling 6 on that. How about you? Wow, and 7 is going to be just enough.
Just enough.
9-pin win. He needed to win by 6. Toby Shepard notches JBT title number 3 in dramatic fashion. My goodness gracious. Tough finish there for Nicole, but we'll see more of her, I'm sure. And a big win for Toby. The parental units seem pleased. All right, and we got more drama for you here as we wrap up the scratch division. Again, here's the situation. Kent can strike out for 224. Cruz going at a 217 pace. So if Marshall doubles, Tyler will have to strike and hold count to win. If Marshall marks, Tyler will have to mark to win. Yeah, I wish Nicole could reshoot that.
She picked it up every time.
She rushed it, man. And the spare would have been enough, as it turns out, too. What you're not going to see is either of these guys rush it. These guys are experienced to the extreme, taking extra time, if anything, to make sure your body and mind are ready to throw this very important shot. 2 strikes, he wins. Oh! Harry Krell is going to be asked to leave the building. About 15 minutes ago, Marshall Kent left a solid 8-pin, which changed the complexion of this match. This match changes again the other way, courtesy of another brutal solid 8, this time for Tyler. And that could be a title-costing solid 8. Are you kidding me? It is. A shame is the exact right word for it, because you do everything right, and you're stuck.
What happened? You know?
It's a funny game we play.
Yes, it is.
Well, you got to keep your head in it and make this spare, because Marshall still has work to do.
He'll make it.
No problem with the 8-pin. Boy, oh boy, that 8-pin falls. Marshall has to double, and Tyler would only have had to strike once more for the win. Now, Kent is going to have to strike once for the win.
Oh, he has to strike once for the win.
Yeah, Marshall right now would go 9 spare for, oh dear, for 213. So if Tyler gets 7 or better in this, that will force Marshall to strike.
Wait, 203 or 213?
104, 134, 163, 203 pace.
203.
So double.
So we need to
Did that wrong? Yeah, that forced the double. Sorry, get ahead of myself here.
If
That's,
you would have struck, it would have been.
yeah, 203 pace. That's right. So 6 forces the double. Anyway, 215 is the finish for Tyler here. Marshall Kent needs 2 strikes to win.
That was a big count.
Yeah, the count was important that he got 7 or better on that shot. So the strike would have won it for Tyler, as we got ahead of ourselves a little bit there. Get so excited.
Strike row one. That was a biggie.
Here's the simple situation. Marshall Kent needs to strike twice to win.
He has to strike twice.
Yep.
Keep it on one.
Strike 9 spare is 213. That won't do it.
I'm assuming he was in this position a lot this time.
Well, there's one particular position when he was in, one particular time when he was in this position. It was in Indianapolis on an absolutely impossible lane conditions. His opponent came up with 265, making him strike twice. As it turned out, he got that strike and the second strike. He actually finished first. So be real about it. But what we're saying is, been here, done that. Must have this hit to stay alive. Must have the next one to win. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, that's how.
The most unbelievable gold finish ever.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
It's wide and it's high.
That's it.
Boy, in a match that had changes of momentum all over the place, Marshall doesn't know why that ball came up high, I think, by his body language. I think he liked that ball off his hand, but that was that weird further right lane.
I think he popped up at the line.
Maybe so. Maybe it's just really touchy where he is. Hard to tell. We'll love to ask him later on.
Tyler Wisbol?
But Tyler Cruz has back-to-back to open up the 2010-11 Pac Northwest season. He pulls a Plunkett. That's what he did last year. Maybe that's a good sign for him. And in a year where we're all wondering what Marshall's going to do back in the local area, it's Tyler Cruz that's come up biggest early on. So great early season storylines. From the bottom again. We'll have to look back in the records if anyone has ever won back-to-back on the weekend climbing the ladder both times. I certainly can't recall it off the top of my head, but you're going to see this guy a ton on our webcasts. Make sure you look up all the webcasts on YouTube, as well as the older ones on our website, bowljbt.com. Great match between 2 awful talented bowlers. We will see you again next week down in Arizona.